Good morning, students. This is fourth part of the chapter on the face of it. As we all know very well that this story begins with a teenage boy entering a garden and his name is Dari. His face is burnt on one side due to an accident when acid fell off half of his face. He has gone there to hide himself as he is afraid of facing people. Then we have come to know that this play on the face of it has two disabled persons. Dari, a young lad of 14 who bears a burnt face, and Mr. Lamb, an old man with a thin leg. Dari is quite withdrawn and defiant. He by chance meets Mr. Lamb in his garden. The old man devises ways and means to overcome his feelings of isolation and disappointment. He even helps the boy to come out of his seclusion and infuses in him the courage and determination to live on successfully in this world without bothering about what others say or feel about him. Up to now, students, we have gone through what? That Derry refuses to accept his thought. Which thought? That handsome is the person who does handsome. Why? Because he is isolated and he is withdrawn. Derry does not like to go near people. So what happened? What has happened over here? That Derry refuses to accept his thought, which he had also heard before, that a person's physical appearance does not matter as much as his inner beauty does. Miss Dari को ये पता है, but he talks about the story and he talks about the story of Beauty and the Beast, where the ugly beast turns into a handsome prince. In my last video, I have mentioned it upon being kissed by the beauty. He says that he won't ever change like that because no one will ever kiss him as his face is scarred. Even his mother kisses him on the other side of his face. Then we have come to know that Dari tells Lamb that women talk of his ugly face. They say that none will respect his mother. Mr. Lamb tells him that he must have heard so many other things also. The best thing is to keep his ears shut and need not pay attention to such talks. Mr. Lamb talks about the bees in his garden. Some people like their buzzing while others hate. But Lamb calls it a sweet music. It is the only difference of attitude. Because when Dari narrated one incident that women made comments on his face, at that time, Mr. Lamb, Dari says, I overheard women talking about my ugly face. They say that nobody expect my mother could kiss me. At that time, Mr. Lamb advised him, keep your ears shut and pay no heed to such talks. Okay, and then Mr. Lamb took an example to make Dari understand. What? Dari tells Lamb that women talk of his ugly face. They say that none will kiss respect his mother. Mr. Lamb tells him that he must have heard so many other things also. The best thing is to keep his ears shut and need not pay attention to such talks. For example, Mr. Lamb talks about the bees in his garden. Some people like their buzzing while others hate, but Lamb calls it a sweet music. It is the only difference of attitude. If people don't behave good with you, maturely with you, then you should not leave your style of living. You should continue with your style of living. Okay, तो अभी तक हमने ये देखा कि आपके ऊपर लोग क्या कमेंट करते हैं, doesn't matter. You have to move ahead. Then from here we have to start reading. Mr. Lamb, I have a hive of bees behind those trees over there. Some hear bees and they say bees buzz. But when you listen to bees for a long while, they hum and sing. I hear them singing, my bees. Daddy, but I like it here. Means Dari has started the liking for the garden. I came in. Why? Because Mr. Lamb was talking with him. Okay, and Mr. Lamb was not showing sympathy. Okay, he was just making him understand. I came in because I liked it when I looked over the wall. Mr. Lamb, if you had seen me, you would not have come in. No. it would have been trespassing. Ah, that's not why. Daddy, I don't like being near people. When they stare, when I see them being afraid of me. मुझे पसंद नहीं है लोगों से मिलना. Because people make sympathy. Okay. Mr. Lamb, you could lock yourself up in a room, तो तुम अपने रूम में बंद हो जाओ. And never leave it. There was a man who did that. So first of all, Mr. Daddy tells Lamb, okay, so Mr. Lamb talks about the bees in his garden and he made him understand that it is the difference of attitude. Then Mr. Lamb advised him to keep his ear shut. Then one incident Mr. Lamb narrated him. You could lock yourself in a room and never leave it. There was a man who did that. He was afraid, you see, of everything in his world. A bus might run him over, or a man might breathe deadly germs onto him, or a donkey might kick him to death, or lightning might strike him down, or he might love a girl and the girl would leave him, and he might slip on a banana skin and fall, and people who saw him would laugh their heads off. So he went into this room and locked the door and got into his bed and stayed there. Daddy was shocked to hear this incident. Forever, हमेशा के लिए अपने रूम में बंद हो गया. Miss Daddy was planning. Mr. Lamb, no, for a while. Daddy, then what? Mr. Lamb, a picture fell off the wall onto his head and killed him. Daddy laughs a lot. First time in the conversation, he laughed. Mr. Lamb, you see, तुमने देखा what has happened with that man. So don't plan to get inside the room, okay? But you still say peculiar things. लेकिन आप अभी भी बड़ी ही अजीब बातें करते हो. Who says this? But still you say peculiar things. Who says this? Mr. Daddy said to Mr. Lamb. Okay, fine. Then what do you do? All peculiar to some, not to all. Okay, what do you do all day? Sit in the sun. Okay, sit in the sun, read books, sit in the sun, read books, and you thought it was an empty house, but inside it's full books and other things, full. Daddy, but there are not any curtains at the windows. I'm not fond of curtains कि मुझे curtains जो है वो क्या नहीं है, पसंद नहीं है. Okay, shutting things out, shutting things in, shutting things out and shutting things in. So at that time Mr. Lamb was narrating was telling him that he does not like to keep the things in. Okay, I like light and the darkness and the windows open to hear the wind. So Mr. Lamb was giving him positive vibes. Mr. Lamb, so Daddy told that, yes, I like that. मुझे भी पसंद है. When it's raining, I like to hear on the roof. So you are not lost, are you? अभी मतलब तुम में still some positive vibes are there. Not altogether. You do hear things, you listen. Okay. So when Mr. Lamb narrated the incident of one man who decided to remain in the room, Daddy was shocked to hear, and then Daddy now likes to be in that garden. Daddy admits that people stare at his face, so he avoids them. But Mr. Lamb tells that keeping alone is not a fine thing. But Mr. Lamb told him that keeping alone is not a fine thing. So he tells a story about a man. Who was always afraid of being run over or getting infected or meeting with some accident. So he locked himself in a room. There's a picture fell on his head and killed him. Okay. So Daddy was shocked to hear that incident, and then Daddy further told that he liked something. What? Daddy asked Mr. Lamb, what did Mr. Lamb did all day, कि आप पूरा दिन क्या करते हो? He replied that he sat in the sun reading books. He said that the house was full of books. Daddy looked at the house and said that there were not any curtains on the window. Mr. Lamb replied that he did not like curtains. He liked transparency. transparency, light, darkness, and the wind too. Daddy added that he also liked all of them, and he also liked the sound of rain falling on the roof of his house. Mr. Lamb commented that Daddy was present minded as he could hear कि अभी भी तुम lively हो क्योंकि तुम सुन सकते हो. Mr. Lamb commented. Daddy said then Daddy further means Daddy was doing conversation with him, and in that conversation Mr. Lamb's attitude was full of positive approach, and he wanted Daddy to change his attitude towards life. Then Daddy told, they talk about me downstairs. When I'm not there, what will he ever do? What's going to happen to him when we have gone? However will he get on in this world looking like that, with that on his face? That's what they say. So Daddy says that his family often talks about him downstairs. Okay, Daddy says that his family. Daddy added that he also liked means what that he also liked open garden and rain falling on the roof of his house. Mr. Lamb commented that Daddy was present minded at that time. Daddy said that his family worried about him. For what would he do in the future with a burnt face? Mr. Lamb said that Daddy had. Then Mr. Lamb told that why. Daddy says that his family often talks about him downstairs when he is not there. They are worried to think what is going to happen to him when they are gone, and now he will get on in this world. Lamb encourages him. How? We will see over here. Lord boy, you have got 2 arms, 2 legs, eyes and ears. You have got a tongue and a brain. You will get on the way you want, like all the rest. And if you chose and set your mind to it, you could get on better than all the rest. Then Mr. Lamb said that Daddy had everything. He encourages him. 2 arms, 2 legs, 2 eyes, 2 ears, etc. He wanted to make Daddy realize that he had so much with which many other people were deprived of. कि तुम्हारे पास में वो सब कुछ है, कुछ लोगों के पास में तो इतना भी नहीं है. He can achieve whatever he likes. He can be better than others. He can do anything like other people, or may do better than others. Okay. He added that Daddy could accomplish a lot if he determined to do so. Okay. Then Daddy asked him, how? Mr. Lamb, same way as I do, जैसे मैं करता हूँ. Then Daddy further Daddy had so many questions with him, and those questions are related to his negative approach. That's why you can see how. Mr. Lamb, same way as I do. Daddy had this perception that handicapped persons, disabled persons have no friendship. That's why he asked, do you have any friends? Hundreds. Mr. Lamb told, hundreds. Daddy, but you live by yourself in that house. It's a big house too. Mr. Lamb, friends everywhere. People come in, everybody knows me. The gate's always open. They come and sit here. And in front of the fire in winter, kids come for the apples and pears and for toffee. I make toffee with honey. Anybody comes, so have you? Daddy, but I am not a friend. लेकिन मैं तुम्हारा friend नहीं हूँ. Mr. Lamb, certainly you are. तुम भी मेरे दोस्त हो, because you have entered in my garden. So far as I am concerned, what have you done to make me think you are not? Daddy, you don't know me. You don't know where I come from, or even what my name is. Why should that signify, Mr. Lamb? Why should that signify? Do I have to write all your particulars down and put them in a filing box before you can be a friend? Then, Daddy, I suppose not. No. Mr. Lamb, you could tell me your name if you chose, and not if you did not. Daddy, only it's Tarak, but I hate that. Daddy, if I'm your friend, you don't have to be mine. ठीक है, तुम मान लो, but मैं नहीं मानूंगा. I choose that. मैं यही मानता हूँ. You are not my friend. Mr. Lamb, certainly, I might never come here again. Daddy told, I might never come here again. You might never see me again, and then I could not still be a friend. Mr. Lamb, why not? Daddy, how could I? You pass people in the street and you might even speak to them, but you never see them again. It doesn't mean they are friends. आप किसी को भी friends मान लेते हो. Derry said that Mr. Lamb would like to raise a hand of friendship, but Derry told that they did not know each other well to become friends. Mr. Lamb did not consider that to be important. He did not need Derry's particulars. Mr. Lamb told that he did not need what? There is particulars before becoming friends with him. Then Mr. Lamb said that if he wished, he could tell. If he wished, he could tell him his name. Derry replied that his name was Derek, but he disliked it and wanted to be called Derry instead. Okay? He added that he might not visit the place in future and then they would not remain friends anymore. Mr. Lamb asked the reason and Derry replied that one crosses many people. कि आपके गार्डन में कोई भी आता है और आप किसी को भी फ्रेंडशिप में एक्सटेंड करते हो. And Derry replied that one crosses many people while walking down the street might speak to a few of them and never see them again. This did not mean that they had become friends. Mr. Lamb does not mean they are enemies. I feel that whosoever is coming in my garden is my friend. Doesn't mean they are enemies. Okay, Mr. Lamb told doesn't mean they are enemies. Either does it? Derry, no, they are just nothing. People, that's all. No, they are not friends, they are not enemies, they are nothing. मुझे लगता है लोग कुछ भी नहीं है. That's all. Mr. Lamb, people are never just nothing. Never. It is not there. Okay. So Derry replied that what? Derry replied here that Mr. Lamb commented that it did not mean that strangers were enemies if not friends. मेरे दोस्त नहीं है तो मेरे दुश्मन भी नहीं है. Derry said that they were nothing, just people. Mr. Lamb said that it could not be that people were nothing to each other. Derry said that, then Derry told that there are some people I hate, कि कुछ लोगों से मुझे नफरत है. Mr. Lamb, that would do you more harm than any bottle of acid. Acid only burns your face, but the attitude you have in your soul, in your mind, in your heart is what? Is burning you. Derry, only acid से खाली मेरा चेहरा जला. Mr. Lamb, like a bomb only blew up my leg. Yes, only half part of your face has been burnt in acid. In the same way, my one leg was blown up in war with a bomb. There's worse things can happen. You can burn yourself away inside. Then Derry replied over here. Derry says that some people he hates, but Lamb remarks that hatred would do him more harm than any bottle of acid. Acid only burns our face or so, but hatred can burn us away inside. Derry said that then Derry narrated one incident. What over there? Derry said, after I had come home, one person said, he would have been better off stopping in the hospital. He would be better off with others like himself. She thinks blind people only ought to be with other blind people and idiot boys with idiot boys. बोले जब मैं घर आया था, some people commented what? Some people were there. Derry commented that what? That when Mr. Lamb was trying to make him understand, then Derry said that when he had returned from the hospital, a person had said that it was better if he had remained there with people like him. He added that people think all disabled people should stay with people like them. Okay, all disabled people should remain together at one place. Mr. Lamb added this meant that people without legs. Then Mr. Lamb further added what? That Mr. Lamb, what kind of world would that be? Okay, and people with no legs together, all together, that's all right. हाँ मैं यही कह रहा हूँ. Those who are blind, all blind people have to stay at one place. Those who are deaf, they all have to stay at one place. Then Mr. Lamb, and people with no legs altogether. Mr. Lamb added this means that people without legs should remain together and the world would become imbalanced that way. Okay, Mr. Lamb was telling that then the world would be imbalanced. What kind of world would that be? Derry, at least there would be nobody to stare at you because you were not like them. कोई आपको देखेगा तो नहीं ना, because If I have burnt face over there, if I have burnt face, then the people who will live with me, they have also the same thing. What? Burnt face. Mr. Lamb, so you think you are just the same as all the other people with burnt faces? just by just by what you look like, everything's different. ऐसा नहीं है, everything's different. As different flowers make a garden, in the same way everything's same भी है, अलग भी है, but everything is different itself. Derry, how do you make all that out? Means what kind of the whatever you are telling me, ये सब करते कैसे हो? Okay. Then Derry asked, then means what, that how you make all those things, आप ये सब कैसे करते हो? Okay. Then Mr. Lamb replied, watching, listening, thinking. Means that my habit of watching, listening and thinking make me different. Okay, make me different from each other. Okay. So Derry said that. Then Derry further said, I would like a place like this. I would like a place like this, a garden. I would like a house with no curtains. Mr. Lamb, the gate's always open. Derry, but this isn't mine. Mr. Lamb, everything's yours if you want it. What's mine is anybody's, Derry. So I could come here again. Even if you were out, I could come here. Mr. Lamb, certainly you might find others here, of course. Oh. Mr. Lamb, well, that need not stop you. You need not mind. तुम आ जाना जब भी तुम्हारा मन करे. Derry, it would stop them. मैं नहीं रुकूंगा. Your friends will be stopped. क्यों? They would mind it. वो mind करेंगे. When they saw me here, they look at my face and run. So Derry said that when he had returned from the hospital, a person had said that it was better if he had remained there with people like him. He added that people think all disabled people should remain together at one place. Then Derry asked if he could visit place again, because when Mr. Lamb told that it could not be, ऐसा नहीं हो सकता है, क्योंकि people should not, then there would be imbalanced world. Then Derry asked if he could visit the place again, and Mr. Lamb replied that he could, and also said that he may also find others here, but he did not mind other people. No one would stop him from entering the premises. Derry said that they probably would not like to enter the place upon seeing him. शायद आपके दोस्त stop हो जाए. Maybe they would look at his face, get scared and run away. Okay, so Derry was full of negative approach, because people make comments on him. Okay, and Mr. Lamb, on the other hand, was a person who was full of positive approach, positive vibes, and he was trying his level best to fill the positive approach, positive vibes in Derry. So we will see further that will Derry come again in the garden or not, as he has got permission from Mr. Lamb to come when he will not be there in the garden. Thank you. Have a nice day.